All right, my beautiful people, man. Good evening to you, man. We are back. It's time to get this show on the road, man. New Black Wall Street presenting to you Black Man Monday. We know that Facebook got to do a good job. YouTube's got to do a good job of letting people know that we are live now. So we're going to give a couple more minutes before we actually go get into this thing here tonight. While you guys are connecting, man, go and let us know where you're connected from, what city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. Go ahead and say hello. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Go ahead and say hello. Good evening to you, by the way. We got a wonderful show lined up for you tonight. You got somebody got the audio coming through. Somebody you got to turn that down. But anyway, we got a live show coming tonight, man. We're gonna have 6 brothers that's sharing the male perspective in business, guys, and so we're super excited to have this broadcast here tonight. We did a wonderful job 2 weeks ago with the women. Now we're bringing the brothers, and y'all know it's gonna get straight. We're getting straight to the point. Y'all know, brothers, we cut to the chase, no chaser, right? Tonight we're gonna be talking about maturity, guys, and you guys get a chance to hear a little bit about our story and how we got to where we are today in our respective fields and in life. And so this is a business and men's life. I will say this: Black Man Monday. It's all about the black man. It's all about not only the black men that be represented here today, but it's about the black man in your life. And so, we want to make sure that we show some appreciation for the man. I will say this: most men love to be appreciated. Although many of y'all might say love is really about appreciation and respect, I believe, for many men. And we'll have someone that's in relationships that'll be able to talk to us a little bit more about that word appreciate as we move forward as well. So in the comments below, if you're already here live with us, go and let us know why do you appreciate the black man? Oh man, yeah. Why do you appreciate the black man? We can get your words of adoration. We want to get your words of uplifting. We want to get your words for any black man that be watching the stream. Also, go ahead and do us a favor and tag a brother. That's right, tag a brother, man. We want to be a blessing to the brothers out there. We don't know what they're going through here tonight, and this might just be the inspiration that they need to keep going. We know, man, that man seems to have the weight of the world on his shoulders, and we want to lift his shoulders. We want to lift his burden here tonight. And we're going to use this show to do exactly that. Well, guys, I want to say thanks so much, man. Like and share if you care. Like and share if you're your brother's keeper. If you are your brother's keeper, do something that's free. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that invite button, hit that tag button. Let people know that we're here live, and we don't care if football's on tonight because our lives are way more important than scoring that touchdown. We want to score a touchdown in life. I'm your host, ERGJ, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. We're going to get this show on the road. Mr. DJ, hit the music. Little delay, DJ.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. Yeah. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on New Black Wall Street, Black Man Monday. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That book there is a study of black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. Oh, Lord, everything moves so slow. All right, I guess you don't want to move. Anyway, you got a copy by going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com. I'm not going to wait on nothing to move. We got to keep this thing going. Go to theblackbillionairesclub.com. Today's episode being sponsored by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric Marketplace. Classic.
Your sound is off.
No, it's on. I'm still good. I'm still good. I think it's still good. You having problems, Mo?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nikki said she couldn't hear you.
Okay. I'm good. I should be good. Anybody can hear me do a tech check. I think I should be coming in just fine. You check out the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. Today's episode being sponsored by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric Marketplace, where we specialize in Afrocentric home decor, natural personal care products, and also black art inspired gifts. Man, go ahead and check out the website, ergjblackbazaar.com. That's right, ergjblackbazaar.com. When you come to the site, man, go ahead and check out our let's check out our personal care section, guys. Here you're going to be able to pick up some stuff that's cool for the girls, man. We got a bath, body, and bath kit here. That's going to be your shampoo, your conditioner, your liquid black soap, your oil and moisturizer, and also your lotion. Man, y'all can be good. Y'all can be fresh and so clean with that doodle soap right out of Nigeria. Go and pick up your kit today to take care of your natural care products for your bath, your body, and your hair kit. Okay, your bath, body, hair kit. Check out ERGJBlackBazaar.com. ERGJBlackBazaar.com. Want you to remember this, guys, that once you shop black, you never go back. That's right, man. Once you shop black, you never go back, man. It is time, guys, for us to get this thing on the road. Good evening to you. Go let us know where you're connected from, what city, what state, what country. We're broadcasting across the world wide web, across YouTube, Instagram, and also Facebook. So we're not taking it for granted. You could be watching us from anywhere. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Miss Lynch is in the house. Miss Jennifer Almanor. Miss Lisa Santiago McNeill has already let us know, man, my black man goes out of his way to make sure that our home is filled with love, that I feel respected and encouraged daily. He is very supportive and protective over my heart, our children, and our business. Brian Keith McNeill is my black man every day. Girl, you better say, hey, Brian Keith McNeill over here, he gonna hear bless it. All right, man. Time to bring the brothers up in the house, man. Time to bring the brothers up. I'll introduce you guys our panel here tonight on Black Man Monday. As we're talking about, right, we're talking about the mark of maturity. The mark of maturity. Man, let's go ahead and introduce our guests here tonight. Want to start here up at top, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Mr. Anthony Sims is up in the house, man. If you could share with the people who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do, brother.
Anthony Sims. I'm an entrepreneur out of Dallas, Texas. I've started my business in the insurance industry. I've had an independent agency, and I've also had a captive agency. And now I'm kind of dabbling in the prearranged funeral business. So that's what I'm doing.
Man, the prearranged, I already want to know more about that, but we're going to get to it as we get in our conversation here tonight. Mr. Mike Taylor is up in the house, man. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us here tonight on Black Man Monday. You can tell the people who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do, brother.
Yes, sir, man. And I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. I am Mike Taylor. I am co-owner of Franklin and Anthony Custom Clothiers. We do what it says, custom clothing. So we make custom suits, custom dress shirts, and shoes, the whole nine. So dressing the everyday man, making sure he is sharp and professional. I do it, man, because I love it. I love to help people. And, of course, image is a part of helping people. So that's why I do it.
Man, thanks so much for being here, Mr. Mike T. Mike the Gent is up in the house, man. The husband of Lisa Santiago McNeill, Mr. Brian K. McNeill. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, man. If you would share with the people who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do, brother.
I want to start off by saying that our lives are not scrimmages or practice games. There's no Martyrs Hall of Fame. Time the speedster takes its toll. And for all of us, every day really is the Super Bowl. My name is Brian McNeill, and I help people to sell themselves and their services better than they ever have before so they can earn more money than ever before. And I help them do that through my workshops, through my coaching, through my talks, through my books, through my webinars. But that's what I do. I dedicate my life helping people to do one of the two skills that I consider the most essential, the ability to communicate and the ability to sell. I think they have more to do with our happiness or sadness than anything else. And I have mastered the art of selling. I'm a prolific author in the subject as well. And I'm excited to be amongst the number of amazing men on here tonight. Let's go.
Let's get it, man. Thanks so much for being here, Mr. Brian McNeill. Catch up on the comments. Miss Vivian Reed's up in the house. BBC is representing out of Brooklyn, New York. Miss Jennifer Almanor here out of Douglasville, Georgia. And also Miss Sinsear is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. We got two Sinsears. We got one Sinsear in the stream, and we got another Sinsear up in the house, man. Mr. Sinsear up in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Good share with the people who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do, brother.
Peace, family. I am Sinsear, poet, speaker, author, relationship coach. But I like to say, most importantly, I'm a proud husband and your brother. So I'm all about the art. I'm all about my people. I'm all about the business of the art. And I'm all about community transformation. It not only takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to grow and maintain and sustain itself. So I'm all about providing that example and leading from the front. So we're going to have a good time tonight with this conversation.
Absolutely, man. Mr. Sincere, the poets up in the house. Thanks so much. Join us here tonight. And Mo Lynch, man, bringing up the end of us, man. Mr. Mo Lynch, you could share with the people who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do, brother.
What up, though? This is Mo Lynch coming from Atlanta by the way of Michigan. Filmmaker, entrepreneur, co-owner of Righteous Entertainment, along with my wife, Nikki Lynch. I don't have no popular sayings like the other fellas, so just don't eat yellow snow. And before we get started, just because Sinsear was before me, I gotta, get my shirt all tight or like him, so I'm gonna put my biceps out there to make sure I'm looking like Sinsear. And then after that, I'll go to my man Mike T to get the collar going. So let's get started.
Man, absolutely, man. Thanks so much for joining again, guys. For those that's in the audience, it's Black Man Monday. It's an opportunity for you to share with anyone that might get on this stream, might see this at some point in time, why you appreciate the Black man. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. Why you appreciate the Black man. Why is the Black man so important in your life, in our community? Man, this is an opportunity for us to just uplift whoever might be catching this at any point in time. Guys, man, we look like we might got a special opportunity with us, man, because we do have a poet up in the house. And I said, well, what better way to open the show than with Mr. Sinsear? The floor is yours.
All right, I'm going to give y'all a little something that I wrote called Celebration. We are here to celebrate life and the miracle that it represents, each body, each mind divinely sent. But somewhere along the lines, we forget that we are all linked through spirit. So it's okay to see that next man or woman as your kin. I am reminded of a time when all I can recollect is joy. Celebrating life is all I can remember, and happiness is gainfully employed. But somewhere along the way, we all get caught up in this life. We lose the joy and all the happiness goes away. I say, but somewhere along the way, we get caught up in this life. We lose the joy and all the happiness goes away. But I also say, for your sake, don't let that be your fate. You see, regardless of how you see this life, we shall all leave here one day. So I am here to celebrate this life and the miracle that it represents, each body, each mind divinely sent. But somewhere along the lines, we forget to celebrate. So let us not forget to celebrate. And in conclusion, there's only one question. Is the life that you live worthy of the celebration? Thank you.
Oh man, y'all better do that thing, something like that up in there. All right, man, that's our boy Sinsear, man. Y'all show some love for Sinsear, man. On the spot, Johnny on the spot to say if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, man. That brother is always ready. That's my man, 20 grand, man. Mr. Sinsear is up in the house. Tonight, guys, we're talking about the mark of maturity. And I really wanted to start by really talking about where we are in business. We're going to hit it from business and personal side. And I believe this is going to help some of our our brothers who are in their path, in their journey, who are starting or in the middle or at the end or whatever the case may be, to see that, man, we go through stuff, but we get through it, but we still go through it. And so, but I also think that there's a maturation process in business and also in our lives as personal. And I want to talk about that tonight, just to shed some light on our journeys in life itself. I really want to start with Brian K. Mcneill. I want to start by asking you a question, brother, because when I put out the title, you said, man, what a great topic. So I first got to hear from you about the title or the topic itself. What were your thoughts when you saw, man, we're going to be talking about the mark of maturity. Everybody putting counsel maturity.
Thanks a lot. And I do think this is a great topic. I think when you go into business for yourself, your business life is going to ask a basic question. And the question is, how much pain are you willing to take before you quit and retreat and go back into a job? And I think that question is going to keep coming up until you pass the test. And the way you pass that test is when you say it and mean it, that there is no amount of pain that's going to make me quit what I do. On this rock, I will stand. It took me 4 tries to be able to make it in business. I went into it, was successful, and then less and less successful until I was out of business and I had to go into a job. And it took me 4 tries. But eventually what marked my maturity when I was able to stand in my living room, just me and my God, and I said, Lord, I don't care what happens. I don't care if I lose the house, the car, anything. I'm not quitting my business ever again. I'm going to stand on this rock and I'm going to make it happen. And I promise you, brothers, when I said that, and my God heard me, and I meant it with tears in my eyes. Providence opened up. Money came out the walls within weeks. You know, someone I talked to a year before, hey, Brian, I got this slide available. It's only $2,500, but can you fill it? Things happen when you're convicted. Can you pass that test? How much pain are you willing to take before you quit? Because I think that's the mark of maturity in business.
Man, Mark, how much pain before you quit, man? We're going to come on up to Mr. Anthony, man. Mr. Anthony, you think about the mark of maturity in business and your walk in business, man. Talk to us about that, brother.
Well, I guess kind of going along with him, it talks about the pain that you're willing to endure, because we all know that entrepreneurship can be very painful. But also, when you know your product or yourself better than anybody else can know you, that's when you don't have to start asking, have you matured enough to be in this business? Because people see it in you. You don't have to say it. They just know it by watching you and by seeing what you do.
Anthony, always real quick, man, real fast, man. I got you, brother. Right to the point, man.
Right to the point, man. I got to get to the point.
Get to the point, man. I'm like, is he done? Yeah, he's done. Okay, let's get going. Mike T, man, coming over to you, man. Did you think about your journey in business and clothing and stuff like that? Definitely got a couple questions for you as far as clothing. I think that it's important that men have at least one suit in their life. But anyway, as you think about your mark of maturity, the mark that you passed and said, man, I'm now mature in this thing. Talk to us about the mark of maturity in your walk in your industry.
Definitely, man. And so for me, I have to be transparent and honest. I believe I'm still maturing, and there's still some things I'm learning because I'm new to full-time entrepreneur. So I'm like the gentleman who's saying, he's not going back. And I have to be honest with you. Man, I've looked at just within the last, I'd say probably about 3 months ago, was looking at job boards like, man, how I'm gonna make this pop, how I'm gonna make this work. I got bills coming. I need to take care of this. But even in that time, me, like he said, I'm praying and believing and trusting that, what I was led to do and what I'm in the right lane. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the maturity for me has come in just sticking with it, like he said, and staying with it. And I've seen how doors are now opening. I'm getting clients that are repeat clients or everyday clients. Or I'm walking into situations and meeting people that I need to meet that need my services every day, and not just these one-offs or events. And so I think the maturity, like the gentleman stated earlier, is just sticking and staying, man.
Absolutely, man. So new to full-time entrepreneurship, man. I've been there. Yeah, absolutely, man. Mo Lynch, man, down in our bottom left, man. Did you think about your industry, what it is that you're doing, work, whatever the case may be? You think about the mark of maturity, man. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, being in film and entertainment, I'm pretty sure Sinsear can relate to this. Handling the no's and the rejection of your product, it requires you to mature real quick when you don't put your heart and soul into a product and you submit it to a festival or to a network or to any type of distribution, and you constantly getting hit with the no's. So it humbles you real quick to say, I'm gonna keep going. I believe in myself. I believe in my talent. They ain't quite caught up with me yet, so I'm gonna keep doing what I got to do to get my product out there, and I'm not gonna conform to the popular trend in film or television that's going on right now. If your talent is out the box, your humor is out the box, your drama is out the box, just stay on that path, and then eventually somebody will say yeah and come on in and accept you and help you get your stuff out there. So the entertainment industry really helps you to mature probably faster than you want to.
Faster than you want to, absolutely. And Sinsear, I guess we'll back that up with you, man. As you being in the world of arts, and I know that you lead in this field as well. But when around your path, man, you talk about the mark. What mark kind of happened? Like, okay, I've crossed over into the seasoned Sinsear, the mature Sinsear that can then make a difference for other people?
It started to happen with me, man, when I started to understand that one of the dumbest sayings in the history of art is starving artists. So when I recognized that you can't eat starving, I said, well, I got to turn up my grind. And what I have to do is learn the business of art. And that's one of the things, that I teach now. So I've always been a hustler. I came from the hustle. But what I had to understand is how to provide value for people and give them something that they can take with them, give them something that they'll hold dear, give them something that not only entertains them, but feeds them on an intellectual, a spiritual, and a mental basis. So that's what I talk to young artists about, man. Doing this thing for 20 years, I understand that there's a lot of folks out there that are artists that are, like my brother Lynch was saying, they try to figure it out. But once I figured out who I was as an artist, then I started understanding, okay, I'm made to do this. So let me not give up. Let me take it seriously, and take that same grind that I had as a youngster and apply it to my art and not quit until I reach what I figure is success. So that's what we're doing out here, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for that. And I would add on, man. And when I think about my walk, my journey, one of the first things I would say, my first levels of maturity was when I got to the point where I would ask. Like, I think as men, maybe we in this position where like, we got to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then, God be like, okay, you're going to open up your mouth at any point in time. It's getting a little bare. It's getting a little dry. You're walking in the shadow of valley of shadow of death, right? So for me, it was like, oh, man, dang. I don't want it to look like I can't do this. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? But dang. Them bills looking a little strong, right? And so I would say I matured when I got to the point that it was okay to ask. Everybody put in comments, so it's okay to ask. That it was okay to ask. It was okay to ask. Like he said, ask and you shall receive. So he was like, man, it's okay to ask, no matter how I feel, no matter how much pride had to come down. I realized that, man, it's okay to ask, man, because I can't do it by myself, even though no matter how much I try to feel like I'm doing it by myself. I'll say that was the first level. I think there's levels of maturity. I think we've leveled up over time, right? But I would say that's one of the first levels that I said, man, I'm really maturing. Because then things, as Mr. Mcneill said, they began to open up. They began to open up. And Sinsear, you said something. You said, man, you came from the hustle, and then you had to learn the business of your industry. You had to learn the business of the industry. Brothers, is there anybody else that came from the hustle? And they felt that, man, I came from the hustle, but then I had to learn the business of this thing, right? I can make some money, but that money was like it didn't last long because I didn't learn the business side to create systems that had money coming in all the time, man. Mr. Mcneill, talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I'll tell you the shortcut. I appreciate you saying once you learn that it's okay to ask. You don't want to look like you don't know it, but that's that pride that comes before the fall. The shortcut to making a success in business and really in all aspects of life, the shortcut is mentorship and coaching. You got to find someone to teach you. No one has enough experience in their own strength to do any of this stuff. Even if you've been doing it 20, 30, 40 years by yourself and in your own strength, you don't have enough experience yet to make it rock. You have got to capitalize on intellectual property and other people's experiences to make it work. Now, you don't have to get a mentor. You don't have to get a coach if you want to take the long way around. But I think a good coach and a good mentor is the shortcut to get you there and being courageous enough. And it takes some courage. It takes some courage to ask for help. How did you do that? How did you get to this place? It does take some courage. One of the best bits of advice I ever got was from a successful businesswoman. And I asked her, if you had it to do over again, what would you have done differently? And because I already consider her a successful woman, she said two things, Brian, and I love these two things. Number one is if I had to do over again, I would have been willing to ask for more help. That's number one. I would have been willing to ask for more help. And number two is I would have been willing to accept more help. And that's half the battle. Are we willing to accept help? Are we willing to ask for help, and are we willing to accept help? I think that's the shortcut right there, being willing to ask, willing to accept, and seeking out mentors.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for that, man. Being willing to ask and being willing to accept. Everybody put in comments, so be willing. Be willing. I think that what you're saying there, Brian, you got onto mentorship, and I think that mentorship actually helps with maturity. So I definitely love to hear you guys talk to us a little bit about some of your mentors that you have looked up to, that you studied, that you follow, whatever the case may be, as it relates to your industry or just in life, because I believe business development is after personal development. Mr. Anthony, man, talk to us a little bit about your mentors, maybe in insurance or just in life.
You know, I have a love-hate relationship with mentors, and the reason why I say that is when you're immature in your business, sometimes you look at another person's success and you think they might be a good mentor for you, and they're actually leading you down. They can't lead you down the right road. So doing your due diligence and investigating who your mentor is and how they're going to align with the goals that you have is one of the most important things that I think when you're starting out as an entrepreneur. And I'll use myself as a personal example. When I first started going into insurance agencies, I looked at other agents that were around, and I looked to see who I wanted to kind of emulate. And in that, I realized that the mentor that I picked, he was very smart, very intelligent. He knew the business like the back of his hand. But his way of doing it and the time frame that he came up in the insurance business was completely different than it is now. And so even though he started out as a good mentor, he was not a good mentor for me to grow with. And I think so from mentorships, I applaud people that go after it and that look for it. But sometimes I think you need to ask a few more questions and know where you're planning to go when you're selecting the right mentor.
Absolutely, man. Good advice there, man. Mr. Mike T. Let me catch up on the comments real quick. Again, for the people that's in the comments, really want to get from you guys. The question for you guys in the comments is, man, what do you appreciate about the black man? Why is the black man important? Why is the black man important to you and also to the community? Ms. Jennifer almost said, man, I love the black men because of the way they carry the burdens of this world gracefully and without complaint. Fantastic. Thanks so much for that, sister. Miss Selena says this: I love our black men because our duplication is strength. Without them, our race would become depleted, and their strength is because with everything that has been against them, they continue to define and beat the odds. Continue to defy and beat the odds. Absolutely. This is Mike T, man. Talk us a little bit about mentorship and maybe some people that you look up to, you follow, you watch in your industry, and how important has a mentor been to your maturation process?
Yes, sir. So for me, man, and my industry, of course, I have a guy who's an older guy that I go to, Mr. Fred Jones here in Dallas, and I call him my OG, man. He has of course way more experience than me in the custom clothing business. I also, man, I pick the brains of different tailors and stuff like that, man, who are seasoned and just been in the game, man, who know more about me. Now, another thing I will say about mentoring too, especially in your own business, man, some things are just trial and error, and you just gonna have to fail and bump your head before, you know what I'm saying? No matter what a mentor can tell you, they can tell you things to look out for, but I feel like every person has different experiences, or sometimes you're just not gonna learn until you bump your own head. And so I think experience has been a great mentor to me, but I do have those that I can go to and bounce things off of as well. So I do think it is important to have somebody in your corner, even if it's not industry specific. Maybe it's that person just in life general that can give you some sound advice that can keep you level headed and keep you on track. Because sometimes even in life, man, it's just hard. You get off track, and you just need to be refocused and recenter. So, yeah, I believe mentorship is very important.
Now, Mike, while we got you, man, we got to get with the clothes, the clothes of the year, man. Give us one tip, man. One tip on the clothing, man, real quick, brother.
Man, I think every guy, and then you mentioned this earlier, man, every guy needs to have at least one suit in his closet. I say custom suit because I am a custom guy. So every guy needs to have one suit. And if you're starting out, man, of course, your first suit, I would say dark gray. A lot of people go with like black. Black is very formal, more formal and for funerals, but dark gray can pass for, of course, it can pass off as a black suit. It looks, you know what I'm saying, very dark. It's great for interviews, great for funerals, great for formal events. And that would be the one I would say start out with. So dark gray is a go-to.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much, man. Mike the Gent up in the house, man. Mr. Mo Lynch, man. Mentoring being key to help or aid in the maturation process, man. Who are some of your mentors in your industry or just in life, and that you kind of look up to or get advice from, or whatever the case may be?
I take the more digital approach to mentorship. As being a screenwriter, I seek after people that I aspire to be like and be on that level. So I go to a masterclass website, and for directing, I watch the Spike Lee mentorship program. For screenwriting, it may be a Aaron Sorkin or Shonda Rhimes for television. So these are people that I look up to, because right now there's really nobody per se in reach for me to look at and say, I want to be on your level. So I watch a lot of YouTube on artists that I follow, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. And I just really study the craft of what those people did, and, how they break down the script and how they shoot a scene. That's just basically my approach to mentorship. It's more of a digital approach.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, you got to use what's available to us. On top about, man, Mr. Sinsear, talk to us a little bit on two ends. I want to talk for you, man. Obviously, your mentors, and let's talk about who you mentor.
Definitely, man. I'm a seeker of information. And early on, there was a sister that took me under her wing by the name of YO. And she was the first one to put me on to the business of the art. And then seeing how that sister operated and having her put me on, I'm like, oh, there's more to this than just, spitting phrases and verses. So for me, it was that sister initially, and just studying the game, like studying the people that made waves in the game. And I still do that to this day. I invest in education as far as business and art. And I encourage the cats that I mentor to do the very same thing. And I let them know that I don't have the only word. Now, what I'm going to teach you is how to be the best version of you. Where a lot of mentors go wrong is they teach them to be another version of them. And that's where you go wrong with teaching somebody. You have to find out who's in front of you, what their personality is, what their character is, and feed them principles, but give it to them in a package that they can consume. So I'm all about that, man, and pushing the envelope as far as a person becoming the best version of themselves. And then I help them facilitate that.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much, man. So talking about maturity, the mark of maturity. Uh-oh, I got a little black screen. We're talking about the mark of maturity, man, here tonight on Black Man Monday. And we just kind of hit it from the business side and growing and developing there. Again, for those that are watching us live, you might catch a replay, man. Hit the like button, the share button if you care. If you're your brother's keeper, hit the like button, the share button. And then also, if you haven't answered this question already, in the comments below, answer this question, man. Why do you appreciate the black man? I talk a lot about the word appreciation because that seems to resonate more with men than the word love. To be appreciated, it seems to be very important. I want to ask that to the brothers here tonight. Do you mimic that? Like, man, if you just appreciate me, I'm good on that. That is love to me in a sense. I don't know. But what we got to say about that? We'll come down to you, Mr. Mcneill.
It's critical. It's the breakfast of champions. the lunch of champions and the dinner of champions if you appreciate it. And I do believe men spend their whole lives seeking significance. And one of the ways that they find their significance is in the places where they are appreciated. Less lucky is the man who have people in their lives that are good at articulating how much they appreciate that man. I happen to be blessed that way. But what man wouldn't go through a wall for the woman that appreciates him sincerely? Because you can't fake that either. It's got to be sincere. We will do more. People, not just men, but particularly men, people will do more for appreciation and recognition than they will for money. Countries will go to war to be recognized as owner of that land, or to be known for that thing. So if you can be appreciated, and I will say this, I see there's a lot of women in the stream, and I hope this doesn't come across as too controversial, but you can applaud a man to success easier than you can browbeat him to success. You can appreciate a man to a higher level. Appreciate him to a higher level. It's like the baby learning to walk. When they wobble and fall, you embrace that baby and love them up. That baby gets appreciated. They want more of that. The greatest management principle, whatever gets rewarded gets done. And that number one reward we want is appreciation and recognition. You know, I don't want to go all night, but Chris Rock used to do this bit. You know, people love mama. They always say, hi, mom, hi, mom, hi, mom. But no one thanks dad for keeping the lights on. No one thanks dad for keeping that rent paid. No one thanks dad for knocking out that bill. Okay? But if anybody was to appreciate it, even though you labor in silence, even though, you know, we don't say it often, show some appreciation so you can get more of it.
Man, we might need to shut the show down. I mean, you know what I mean? What else do we need?
Let me look at these comments right quick after that.
Hey, how are we supposed to follow that, man?
Well, we ain't got to follow nothing, but Anthony does. Anthony, what's going on, man?
You know, I was taking notes earlier when we were talking about this topic, and one of the things that I had on here is having a good partner and a good helpmate. That also comes back to having that appreciation. Now, one of the things, me being a black man, me being an entrepreneur and out here in this business world and so forth, having a supportive partner is paramount. Because if you don't, one or two things is going to suffer. Your business is going to suffer, your relationship is going to suffer. And most of the time, because we know money runs the world, we would choose to nurture our business a lot more than we will our relationships. So, if you don't have a good partner to go along with you and you're not getting that appreciation, that's where you're going to focus your attention to. You're going to focus it all on how you're getting your money so you can provide for your children and for your family. And I think between men and women, there's a big, I don't even know the word for it, but there's a chasm in between the understanding of how men want that appreciation so they can continue to go out there, fight the things in the world, and provide for their families. Because we hear a lot about men don't do this, men don't do that. And I always come back and say, well, why didn't your man do that for you? Because you played a role in that also. So you can't get mad if he left you and now he's giving this other woman everything that you thought you deserved.
Yeah. Hey, I just feel like it got hot in here. I mean, I don't know if it's my dashiki or what, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who's gonna follow that, but I know we ain't gonna follow that. But it's gonna be sincere. It's gonna be sincere. Sincere gonna have to follow that. What's up, brother?
Hey, well, the best thing that you can call on after anybody is a poet. So I'm never at a loss for words. My wife shows me both, man. She tells me why she loves me through the appreciation, and that's one of the things that make our connection very special. So for the sisters out there, I saw some in the stream. Like if you had that man, telling them that how you love them and why you love them, that speaks volumes. right? So it's not just the word love. Like that's an empty word if you don't fill it with something. Love is the cup. What you put inside of that cup matters.
No doubt.
Woo! I don't know. Y'all dropping a lot of mics tonight, man. I don't think we got no more mics. We run out of mics. Mic check. Hey,
I've been fortunate with a woman that appreciates me, and when I was going through my lowest point, when we was living in Florida, in between jobs, I mean at low point. Never looked at me like I was worthless. Never looked at me like I wasn't doing my part, because we was going through it together. So and I appreciate my brother-in-law Evan, because when we moved to Atlanta, he opened his doors to get us on our feet. So everything was in God's plan, and we blessed, and we was blessed then because we wasn't fighting and bickering with each other. We just, hey man, this is the road we on right now, and we're not gonna get nothing by arguing with each other. So we just laced up our boots and walk through that valley. But I could say that I don't have that testimony of marriage on the brinks because of this financial situation. So I just aspire to tell y'all that everybody get a Nikki Lynch in their life. Your life can be real good.
Hey, Mike Taylor, we're gonna come. Let me get this the comment real quick. Miss Vivian Reese, I love the black man because there's no other like him, strong, masculine, intelligent, and unstoppable. Miss Lisa Santiago say he is my king. Support and significance can create security, man. Mike T, man, as we're talking about what's your comments here as we're getting into this appreciation for the man.
Dang, bro, now I gotta come all deep and stuff. Everybody that gave these killer comments. No, but no, man, I think appreciation just fuels us, man. Like I think it's the fuel that keeps us going, to know that we have that support, to know that somebody appreciates what we're doing. Not that you know what I'm saying, you're not nagging, but you understand that we face a lot, and to come home and have that support, you appreciate that, man. And so we appreciate the appreciation. That's all I got, man. I can't even go deep. Y'all done took all the words, all the comments. So that's all I got, man.
Absolutely, man. Ms. Felicia Gardner said, I appreciate the black man for their strength and resiliency to achieve greatness in spite of what the world may think of them. That is better when you lead by example. That's right, lead by example. And fellas, man, as we're talking about the market maturity, it's a wonderful thing to be able to accept that appreciation too, as Mr. Brian Mcneill was saying earlier. And we want to get a little bit on the personal side. We've all had our road to where we are now, our road to masculinity, our road to maturity, our road to being men, and particularly black men. But that road has been the road. It's been a journey. And so I wanted to get a little bit on the personal side about just in your life, a little bit of your experience from the time when you thought you were a man to the time when you were like, I know I'm a man now. Who want to go first?
Man, I'll tell you right now, when I was younger, when I thought I was balling, and this is before I found out about overdraft fees and the bank putting your account. Now I oversee the finances in my household because I'm a master at balancing that checkbook now. But that $35 times 10, that matured me real quick at 22 years old. When I didn't know that when you send a check out, it take about 3-4 days for it to get out your account. So that was a bruiser for me,
That was a mark for you, man. This is Sinsear, man. A mark of maturity in your personal life. When the time when you thought you was a man, to when you actually knew I'm a man now.
Oh man, I used to walk around the earth, man, with my chest high, man, full of piss and vinegar, and just thinking I knew everything, man. Couldn't be told anything. I'm a fire sign, hot head, all that good stuff, man. But my grandma used to say, a hard head make a soft, you know what. So after you get slapped a couple of times and you getting up off your knees, then you understand, okay, well, I need to really tune in and find out what I didn't know. And there used to be this older man in the community, man. And he used to always tell me, a wise man understands what he doesn't know. And that didn't make any sense to me until I started to mature. And that was understanding that you can't know everything, but you need to understand that there's always something to know. So you got to go out there and get that information and use it to your benefit, man. So that was a lesson, man, that was hard learned on many accounts. But I'm glad that maturity thing happened because, after you get knocked down a few times, you start losing skin on your knees and you're like, okay, it's time to do something different.
Time to do something different, man.
Speaking of knocked out, my last whooping was at 17 years old because I thought I was a man, but my mama, she got that belt out and showed me. Shout out Melody Scott. I'm the godly man that I am today because I got that butt whooping at 17.
Absolutely, man. Somebody called me out in the stream. Okay, Selena, they called me out in the stream and said, I can't answer. Hey, I'm sorry. Me?
I saw that. They called you out, Evan.
Whoa, okay. So what was it talking? Appreciate it. So, all right, I'll answer. I don't have a problem. So, I believe that appreciation is so key. And I also believe it is more than just words. I would say more for me as a man, to show me the appreciation is better than to tell me. Because for me, actions speak louder than words. And so it's great for me to hear it. It's better for me to actually see it, that your actions validate your words. And I think that's in everything. Like it's contradictory for me for you to say, I appreciate you, but then you're always slapping yourself in the face. You're always complaining about something. You're always whatever. You don't listen, blah, blah, blah. So a big part of appreciation for me is actually listening to me. I am an intellectual brother. I do a lot of thinking. I get a lot of ideas. And the person who I can't communicate with that is willing to listen, to me, that shows, in my eyes, disrespect and a lack of appreciation for the most beautiful part of me, which is my mind. So for me, that's a big part of appreciation for me, just to actually listen and show that you have listened in our conversation, in our intimate conversation. Mike T, man, we're talking about your personal mark of maturity, man. Talk to us a little bit about your upbringing or where you were and when you remember, man, this was a mark and I crossed over.
Definitely. Yeah. So for me, man, I'm like Mo, man. It had to do with money, man. So I grew up in a single parent home. I was the oldest. So I always thought I was the man of the house or whatever, did all the manly things like take out the trash, cut the grass. And so as a little teenager, man, you always think you're the man of the house. I remember getting my first job. I think I was 15, 16 years old, man. And I get my paycheck, I'm picking up, thinking about a bunch of stuff I can buy on my own. And I remember, being humble real quick, looking at a check, understanding who FICA was. I remember asking my mom, who is FICA and why is she taking money out of my check? So that was the moment that I realized I wasn't yet grown. And I also had a run-in with my mom too, as far as discipline as well. I didn't get a whooping, but at the age of 16, 17 years old, you trying to stand up to her. And my mom squared up with me, ready to throw hands, and told me to get out the house. And I realized I wasn't grown when I didn't have nowhere to go. I just went outside and sat on the curb. So that's when I realized I wasn't grown. So
absolutely, man. How many guys had that run in with the moms? I had it. Oh Lord, I had it. It wasn't with the dad. It was with the mom.
Yeah.
Oh man. Brother Anthony, man, your mark, you see brother, man, coming up, man. You're a mark of that you remember.
Well, mine was a little bit different because, I have a huge family. Lots of uncles, lots of older cousins, that kind of thing. We have the kind of family that a fifth cousin is like your first cousin because we all grew up together. But one of my uncles used to always say when we were younger that a man is a man regardless of his height and size. And then he said, when you're mature enough, you'll understand that. And then later on down the line, when I was like 19 years old, And I remember one of my uncles asking me to do something, and I was like, had something to do with the little kids. And I said, well, I'm an adult. I shouldn't have to do that. And he pulled me to the side and said, when you become mature enough to be an adult, you won't have to say it. And years later, when I would come for family functions and things like that, I noticed that the way I was carrying myself, I wasn't being asked to do things for the little kids that I would have been years before that. And then when he noticed it, he pulled me to the side and was like, now you're grown. Now you're mature. Now you are an adult. Now you have a different responsibility and you need to take it seriously.
Wow, man. He laid a lesson with you, man. That's what that uncle, right?
Yeah.
That's what uncle's supposed to do, man. Y'all uncles out there, y'all know what y'all supposed to be doing. Y'all uncles out there, man. Mr. Brian K. Mcneill, a mark in your personal walk and becoming a man, a mark that you remember in your maturity.
Man, when you introduced this segment right here, man, I went to a time in my life that wasn't pretty. You know, from the time I would say maybe 26 till maybe in my mid 30s, I was making a lot of money. I was a sales manager, and then time went on. I was doing real good. I thought I was real good at what I wanted to do. And I went into business for myself and I'm doing all right. And then when the marriage ended and I found myself in a funk, and then I found myself in trouble, and then I found myself behind in child support. And then I found myself spending 56 days in jail because of child support. And then I found myself getting out of jail in a different city than where I lived. And I no longer had the woman that I had before I went in jail with. So I found myself like lost. And it was in my early 40s. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. I don't know what's going on with my life here. I knew I had skills, but I went through a place where nothing was working. I couldn't make money. I was asking God, what happened to my money? And I didn't have a big family. I didn't have anybody because in my mind, my family thought I made money. So I couldn't go to anybody. I was just lost. And I found myself living in a hovel, a really, really cheap apartment. And it was roach infested and the rent was very cheap. And I was having difficulty paying that. And I thought I would be in that situation for a month. But brothers, I was in that situation for 10 months. I was embarrassed. I was in a hole. And then I found myself slowly coming out of the hole. Slowly coming out of the hole with good guidance, with good work, with keep going when stuff wasn't working right. And that kind of turned the corner for me. It turned the corner because I could realize that I could be in the lowest of low and embarrassed behind that. I felt like I was Joseph in the hole. I mean, David in the hole. His brothers threw me in the hole. Joseph threw me my brothers threw me in the hole. But I found myself climbing out a little bit at a time. And it took a way longer than I thought it would take. But now that I've gone through that season in my life where nothing was working, the stuff that used to work didn't work for whatever reason. I came through that season, and now I am much more secure and confident. Like if a situation like that tried to come again, it won't throw me because I done been there before. I done been like that before. I know how to get through that kind of thing. And as long as you can draw air in your body and exhale air and bring air back in again, you can dig yourself out. You can come out of that hole, and that marks a moment for you. You graduate when that happens.
Man, that's deep right there, brother.
Especially that child support part.
But that time, yeah. Oh my goodness, 56 days. Oh my goodness, they be putting people. Oh man, they get that money. They, whoo, Lord.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, man. I know it, man. That's a whole nother segment, a whole nother show, man. I say for me, guys, I got a lot of different marks, man. I say one of my most impressionable marks was, I think it was when I was fighting my mom. My dad had left the house, and at this time I thought I was the man of the house, and I just took on that mantra. If ain't no other brother gonna be in here, I guess it's gonna be me. Started working, making money, and I've always been a worker, but I was a rebel. I was 15, 16 years old, straight and skipping school all the time just to work. But I was like, I get this money, ain't nobody else gonna make it for me. And I remember battling with my mom. I just didn't understand. at the time. Honestly, I just didn't understand. I think I had anger. Why my dad leave my mom? Why he not here no more? That type thing going on. I was a rebel, man. And I remember, I got my car, I had a car, driving, going back to work. And I just go as I please. And I don't know what the heck the fight was about. I think what happened, my mom tried to take my keys. And I was like, oh, hell no, you can take everything else, but what I want for, you can't take that. And so I remember fighting with her over the damn key because she was mad at me for something. And I got there and took them keys. I did it, got in the car and wheeled off. She came out, had like something hit my car. I was like, oh, hell no, she hit my damn car. And then I came back, and I had a bat in my trunk. And I took the bat out and I smashed the back window of my mom's car. I jetted. And I remember whenever that got fixed, I got back and I was out. I don't know where I was going. I was sleeping in the car. I was going to my place's house. When I got back, my dad came over. My dad came over in the middle of the day one day, just out the blue. And he brought some boxing gloves with him. And he took me down in the basement in the backyard. Was like, you want to fight? Let's fight. And I was like, I ain't ready to fight. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I ain't ready. I don't want to fight. I was a little punk, you know what I'm saying? I was a little punk. I ain't ready to fight, so I remember that. And I was like, man, one day though, I'm gonna get them damn gloves. We're gonna fight. It ain't gonna be a day though. I'll be fighting again. But that was a mark for me, man, because I realized that I wasn't a man. I couldn't, man, my dad would knock my ass out. You know what I'm saying? But
he would kick your ass
at the time. To calm my ass down, man. I mean, there were other ways it could have happened, I think. You know what I'm saying? Just again, I ain't understand. I just didn't understand. I still really don't understand. I mean, I understand now because I understand my mom a little bit better. I see why. But at any rate, so that's the time I went through, man. Went through that, and that was a season for me that I just had to grow up real fast. I already felt like I was growing up real fast at 15, but even at that point, I was still growing up real fast. And so that was a mark for me, man. Yeah, I'm ready to fight. So let's see, catch up again. For those that are joining us here, this is Black Man Monday. This is an opportunity not only for you, but for all of us to really show our appreciation for the Black man. It's an opportunity for you to tag a brother that might have just needed that word today, and they may be tuning in tonight. We know brothers don't do a lot of typing, but they might be watching. So want to make sure we give them that. We want to give them that respect and that love as well. If you are joining, you have not yet, as a watcher, as a portion of the show, I want you to answer this question: why do you appreciate the Black man? And I don't care if you're a brother or a sister. This is an opportunity for us to love on the Black man, to really uplift the Black man. We do enough of bringing them down. We do enough of arguing. We do enough of condescending. We do enough of that. How about we just do our support tonight, man? No matter how or no matter what situations you've been through, we still must understand that we appreciate the Black man. Okay, we appreciate the Black man, and we're going to show that here tonight. Well, guys, I want to take a few moments to find out a little bit more about you guys. If there's some places that you'd like to go for people to follow you, what you do, and all that stuff, we definitely want to give you an opportunity for people to use your services. I mean, we got talent that's represented here, and for everybody else, I really just want you to just maybe if you're on your phone, just take a screenshot. Right, take a screenshot. You literally have epic proportions. I consider to be just a visual portrait. What you're looking at right now could be the next, what do they call it? The masterpiece. It could be, I'm serious. You just never know, like where all six of us are going to go from this point forward. Just from having a conversation, just for being courageous enough to say, man, it's time for us to bond as brothers, to band as brothers, and really have these conversations to help other brothers and also help the sisters understand that brothers a little bit better. So I don't take it lightly at all. This is huge to me. But at any rate, we'll come to you, Brother Anthony, man. If you could, again, this opportunity for you to share what you do and how people can follow you. If they need your service or assistance, how can you help our community?
Well, kind of like you said before, I like to educate my clients on a number of different things, from utilizing life insurance as a wealth transfer tool. And one of the ventures that I'm currently in right now is selling prearranged funerals. And I had mentioned earlier before that how I had been misleading some of my insurance clients, because when we typically talk about life insurance, we talk about the liabilities of it. We talk about replacing income. We do talk a little bit about, planning for a funeral, and we talk about, education for any children. But I went back and I started to look at from the funeral standpoint of life insurance. A lot of people will come and get a policy, $10,000 for a policy, and not really realize how many components to a funeral there really are. We think that, you go and you pay for a funeral and that covers everything. But what I've learned and how I started re-educating my clients is when you're looking at a funeral, you're looking at 5 components. You're looking at the actual funeral services. You're looking at the property of where you're going to be buried or where you're going to bury your loved one. If it's a perpetual care cemetery, you're going to need a vault if you're doing traditional ground burial. You're going to also need to pay for the ground crew to open the ground up, close the ground, and all the paperwork to go to show who's going to be in that particular space. And then at the end of it, you're going to need a memorial or a headstone or something along those lines. And that's something that I think when I talk to my previous life insurance clients about planning for a funeral, I would always ask them, how much do you want to spend on a funeral? But I never would ask them where they want to be buried or how they want it to be memorialized. I never asked that question. So now I'm having to go back to re-educate them on something that I had to learn myself. And that's pretty much what I do now. I'm changing the education of how to utilize your life insurance, taking it from having it to just take care of funerals to having it be a wealth transfer tool, because your kids or your family should profit off of your death. That's just the way I feel about it. They should profit off of your death. You work forever, your family should profit from it. And then also on the other side is, what are you going to do after the fact? Now, the biggest component to that is, if you got a life insurance policy right now that you're looking at that is going to pay for your funeral services, that life insurance policy is not increasing at the rate of inflation, but funerals are. So 10 years ago, when you got a $10,000 policy and funerals were about $5,000, now the average funeral, just a funeral service, can cost you about $12,000. Not to mention the place where you're going to go. If you're going to be in a mausoleum, if you're going to be cremated, if you're going to be in the ground. Those are things that, we don't like to think about our own mortality, but we need to be, since we're becoming more financially savvy, that's a big component that we need to seriously start thinking about in our community. That's what I do. You can find me at I am Anthony Sims on IG.
So basically, you saying don't start a GoFundMe when we die on Facebook.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, you think about it, you can pay for it. You can pay for it over the next 5 years. Your funeral will be paid for, and you ain't never got to worry about it because you got it taken care of. Whereas if you come 15 years from now with $10,000, that might not be enough to cover anything.
Man, so everybody's going to go get it done. Get it done. Now, I would say this, guys. Again, one of the main reasons why Brother Anthony is on here, because I have not found an insurance agent that can really explain all this stuff in this way. And so I really appreciate a teacher more so than a salesman. And that's a little tip for you guys. I'm gonna go and drop some few nuggets. I study money. I'm a money guy. When you become a teacher of your industry, you can make way more money than you just a salesman in your industry. So just to help you guys out, be an infopreneur, not just an entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the mic too. I got some mic. Anyway, go ahead, go on IG and follow. I am Anthony Sims, man. This brother, I'm telling you, like at least you want to talk to him. I'm not quite sure where he can service, but I'm pretty sure, I believe that people are connected to people like them. He probably has other people connected to him just like him who can give you the same level of service when it comes to things that we really got to start taking seriously. And that is what happens when we're no longer here. What are we going to leave behind? Mr. Mike T, Mr. Mike Taylor, man. Pull up your website here, brother. Talk to us, man. What's going on with you?
Yes, sir. So as I mentioned, of course, I am co-owner of Franklin and Anthony. As you can see, our website here is www.franklinandanthony.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Franklin and Anthony, and you can follow me personally on Instagram as well. I am Mike T _ the Gent. And one of the things, of course, like the brother mentioned, like Anthony mentioned before me, man, that I think that separates us, of course, is our experience and the education that we provide on suiting. You know, we go through why you're getting this piece or why you should get this piece, why this particular color, and things of that nature. And I think a lot of times you get other companies or other businesses that just stick somebody in a suit and don't explain why they're getting a certain piece. And so that's the thing that we like to do. And of course, we know we do women as well, but our majority of our clients are men. We know that a lot of gentlemen don't like to shop. And so you want that process as painless as possible. We do have a showroom where you can come pull up, man, and we sit and we drink whiskey. We talk about, you know, your personal style, but while we're sitting there, of course, that process is going by as quickly, you know, going by quick because you're sitting down enjoying your favorite beverage or whatever. We'll meet you at a cigar lounge so we can be sitting down enjoying stogies and enjoying whiskey as well. And you picking out a suit shopping and didn't even realize it because you're having a good time and enjoying yourself. So we're all about the experience and, of course, the education. And that's something that separates us from the rest. So.
Yeah, he said stogies, man. He said stogies. So Mike, let me ask, look, you got his stogie right here. So Mike, let me ask you real quick, man. You said whiskey. Is that supposed to be like a beverage for the gentleman? Is that what that is? Or what about cognac? Is that in that same class? Talk to us about drink or spirit.
Yeah, man. So whiskey is just my drink of choice, of course, but we do cognac, man. We'll make you some with vodka if you want vodka. I don't personally suggest vodka. That's for college, but that tolerance a little different. But we'll do scotch, man. Whatever you like, man. We have selection. If you like craft beers, we can get into craft beer and do that as well, man. But for me, man, it's whiskey and a nice cigar all day, and I'm good to go.
All right, man. All right. Thanks so much, Mike T, man. You guys find him at franklinanthony.com. That's going to be the website for the custom clothier. I know that I see we have a few people here that are really into custom clothing, and reach out to them again. What's the IG again, Mike?
My personal IG is at Mike T _ the Gent, and then the business page is at Franklin and Anthony.
All right, fantastic, man. Mr. Mo Lynch, man, pull up your website here as well, brother. Talk to us a little bit about what you got going on Righteous Entertainment.
Righteous Entertainment, you can follow me at the Greasy Michigander. No, you can follow me at Mosky 24. And follow me. We do films, television shows. Follow us and post, check out the photos behind the scenes. We do it all right, direct. If you need a screenwriter, holla at your boy. If you need a real thorough producer, line producer, holla at my wife, Nikki Lynch. She does it all. I wouldn't be here without her, so I just got to plug her right quick. But right, direct, and just follow us, man, and work on short films. Got any ideas? You need mentorship? You need any questions about filmmaking that you have? Holla at me. Mosky24, righteousent.com. Do documentaries, feature length, short films, and just getting it in.
Man, I know sometimes it's not easy to talk about yourself. But let me ask you a question, Mo. Man, what's your most cherished piece, and what's your most successful piece so far?
My most successful, I say my passion project, Slum Village. Fantastic. The legacy of Slum Village. Being from Michigan, I was passionate about this hip hop group. Jay Dilla, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. This is a documentary that we did. This is the documentary that got us into the American Black Film Festival. A year prior, we did a short film called The Social Hitman, and it got rejected from every festival that I submitted to. And I did this documentary on Slum Village, and it opened up doors for us to get into festivals that we've been wanting to get into for several years. And it just paved the way for a lot of opportunities, a lot of conversation, and just a lot of doors open from that film. And we're very proud of it. You can check out the trailer, righteousent.com. And yeah, that's probably my most passionate one, successful.
All right, man. Thanks so much, Mo. Thanks so much. Mr. Brian K. McNeill, let me pull up your website here as well, brother, and talk to us a little bit about Brian K. McNeill, the sales coach, I believe.
Yes, you're right. You got it all right. I help people to sell themselves and their services better, as well as speak better. That's what I do with my time. My wife and I, we host a show from Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. Every day. Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10. It's called Let's Talk About It. And it's a show that's on the iHeart Radio, the SIBN Network, iHeart Radio, YouTube TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. And it's easy to just see it. Go to Facebook Live, Facebook on the Empowerment Duo page from 9 to 10. And we talk about personal conversations, business information, and spiritual inspiration. And we've been doing that since October of 2016. Since August of 2016, I've had a men and teenage men's group called Male Empowerment Networks. We meet twice a month. We're meeting tomorrow night from 6:30 to 8 because men need men and teenagers need men too. And we just created an intimate environment where men can get some stuff off of them. I say to men, like, when your life is going wonderfully well, the meeting needs you. But when your life ain't going wonderfully well, you need the meeting. So we get in there and we talk it out. So I spend my time, just learning how to sell better. You can go to briankmcneill.com. You can see all my books there. You can see some of the things I've done. I just rocked in New York Saturday. Or you can just catch me on YouTube. I've got probably 60 or 70 videos on YouTube, probably more than 100 of them on my Facebook. I know it's more than 100 videos on my Facebook. And on my LinkedIn, you can find me under Brian K. McNeill, or you can find me under The Best Sales Coach on the LinkedIn. So I got tons of content out there. I also offer free stuff to people. I offer them a free ebook called the 1, 2, 3 Formula. Anybody here want my free ebook? It just teaches you how to tell what you do and what do you do when you don't have a client in front of you. And with me, it all starts with the conversation. I will tell, like for Joseph, for example, for 2.5 years, I sold pre-need cemetery property, and I managed 4 sales forces within 4 cemeteries, and we set sales records on how to do it, because I taught them how to sell love. I always wanted a client in the personal clothier business because I believe I could teach someone how to sell that service wonderfully well. So right now, my clients are all varied, but the only people that should ever bother reaching out to me are the people who want to start earning more money. If you want to gain more clients and earn more money, then you should reach out to me, because what has got you to the level you are right now. My ideal client, those people who are like, oh my God, if I don't start making more money, I'm gonna have to go and get a job, and before you quit your vision, quit your goal to go get a job, holler at your boy. I can show you how to sell it better and earn more money. I'm still old school enough that I'll simply take a phone call. You can call me 919-345-4893. That's 919-345-4893. Again, anyone who calls me, I'm gonna take you serious, because this is what I do. Thank you.
All right, man. Brian K. McNeill, sales coach, to help you earn more money. Man, Sinsear the poet, man. Glad you were able to get back on the stream, man. You could tell people how they can follow you, what you got going on, what you got coming up, man. What's going on with you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You can reach out to me at Sinsear. That's SINSEAR, Sinsear. And then the conventional spelling is Sinsear, SINCERE. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, and then you'll have all the pipelines to reach me. But I'm in the community. You'll be able to see what I have going on in reference to my book, in reference to workshops, my relationship coaching. For me, it's all about the holistic perspective, and that's That's holistic with a W. We all come in the form of one whole, spirit, mind, body. So it's all about that kind of wellness. I don't care if we're speaking business, your relationship with your woman, your children, whatever the case is. It's done from a holistic perspective. So that's what I'm all about. I'm all about leadership, teaching boys how to be men, teaching people how to connect better and have greater relationships. The first relationship that you have as an adult is with yourself, and then all your relationships reflect that singular relationship. All right, so that's what I'm all about. So check out the performances. I do a once a month show at the Black Dot Cultural Center and Bookstore in Lithonia called the Arts and Culture Show. And I understand that everybody's not a poet. So basically, we reach out to the crowd, which is our village, and we share perspective. We talk about great topics, and then we get into the poetry. So it's all about village and community for me, all right, from a holistic perspective. So connect with me. I want to know what you're doing, and then in turn, we can help each other grow.
Absolutely, man. Well, Sinsear, I'll definitely be at the next art and culture show, man. I think December, what's the date? December what? 13th?
The next date is the 13th. Absolutely. You're on point.
Think I ain't know. You thought I was just playing. I ain't playing. I know December 13th about being in the house. You know what I'm saying? It finally, ERGJ is coming back.
That's why I met him. I met him right there at that bookstore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. See, I brought him at the bookstore as well, man. So, in case you guys know, the third annual Black Billionaires Club Extravaganza is coming back. It'll be April 25th. So we are working on all of that stuff as well. I'll be reaching out to some of you guys to assist with making that a fantastic production. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, man, this is Black Man Monday, guys. This is an opportunity for us to just, our last little bit, man. This is the question of the day, the question of the night, man. The things that you have to say to that black man to inspire, to encourage, to uplift. I want you to think about the old you. I want you to think about the young you and what you would say to the young you to help him become a better you than you are today. That's the question. Think about the old you, the young you, and what you would say to that young you to help him become a better you than you are today. We'll start with you, Brother Anthony, man. Brother Anthony. You on mute. Let me unmute you. I think you unmute yourself.
I think what I would say to my young self would be to start investing more when you were in college, investing more in the stock market, investing more in getting more knowledge about the financial industry, invest more in being a better man up front. That's what I would say to a younger me.
Straight to the point, as always, Mr. Anthony Sims, man. Mike T, man. As you think about the younger you, what would you say to the younger you to help the younger you become a better you than you are today?
Don't chase all the girls and don't take all the student loans.
Don't chase all the girls and don't take all the student loans. All right, Mo is getting this room moving really fast.
The younger me, I would say my uncle, when I was 20, 21, 22, he gave me the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I didn't even read it. Didn't even read it. And I was like, when I got older and really took my money serious and saving and putting stuff aside, it wasn't too late. It was just, I wish I would have done it when I was in my 20s rather than my 30s. So that's what I would tell my younger self. Just, read more and take your finances more seriously.
Absolutely, man. Let me get these comments here. Mr. Eric Lumpkin says, we black men are highly intelligent, creative, multi-talented, emotionally deep, spiritually intuitive, and very stylish. As Ava says this, I love strong black men that got his hustle on, can teach me and challenge me to be my best. It doesn't matter if he has a lot of money or as long as he's always trying to be better. I love my black brother so much that I'm not even attracted to other races. I see them, but I love a real black man. My daddy and my 8 brothers are real black men. This Mark saying black men have shown resilience through it all. We've endured being separated from the household, misunderstood by our mates, and denied upon upward mobility in many instances. But we're still here. Gotta love the brothers. Gotta love the brothers. Sincere, man. Sincere. What would you say to the younger you to help him be a better you than you are today?
Oh man, the focus on purpose. Understand what that is and how it comes about. Spend more time on focus on who I am, what I am, and why I am from the very beginning. I'm talking about ancestry. I'm talking about digging deeper. And that would have led me down a greater road. Like I would have been here a bit earlier. I know hindsight is always 20/20, but early on I had no focus. And I was just trying to figure it out. But, I casted a wide enough net to where I was able to narrow some things down. But I would tell my younger self, focus on purpose and get to it. Time is one of the most precious commodities that we have, and invest in self. Like once you find out what that purpose is, go ahead and invest in self and start your growth process.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much, Sincere. Mr. Brian K. Mcneill, what would you say to your younger self to help your younger self become a better self than you are today?
It's a challenging question for me. Three things, really. One is it's not all about you, Brian. The rising tide lifts all the boats. And you need to understand that the better you do with your life, you are lifting up more than just yourself and your household. Somebody's watching you as an example. Somebody else in your family needs for you to be successful. And when you think of it that way, it's almost like you get power that you wouldn't have on your own. I'm doing this not just for me, but I'm doing it for the world around me, and the world around needs me to get this done. So that I think that would have given me more power if I had understood that and embraced that. The other challenge part of this for me is, there's some things that I would not have quit as early as I did if I had it to do over again. But there's also some things that I would have quit earlier than I did. I hung on to some things longer than I should have. And it's because I didn't have anyone that I was bouncing enough stuff off of. So I would tell my younger self, look, man, you got to seek out some counsel here, because should you let that thing go or let that person go, or should you keep it? Should you let that venture go, or should you or keep going? So those are the things right there. Those three things. What should I have let go of earlier? What should I have not let go of all? And understand and realize that power comes on when you understand it's not just about you.
And it's not just about you, man. Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. Good, man. I would say here my final words, guys, and it's very similar to what Sinsear did. I think it's so important for a man to have a plan. I think it's so important for him to know where he wants to go, where he is going, and then he can figure out how to get there. I truly believe that desire is the starting point of all achievement. And so for any man out there, figure out what it is that you want. I would say silence the noise, cut off the TV, get rid of social media for a while, get to a space where you can figure out what's in the desires of your heart, because that is the starting point of all achievement. Once you get that, then you can say, here is where I want to go with this desire. Here's what I want to accomplish. Here's what I want to do. I think men are men of accomplishment. Men are men of that can say, here's what I have done with my life. And so what is it that you want to accomplish? We're not raising couch potatoes. We're not raising lazy men. We're raising men that will be kings. We're raising men that will be leaders. We're raising men that will take back our community. And son, you are that dude. All right, you are that dude. Absolutely, man. Well, here's the deal, guys. I want to say thank you to my brother Anthony, brother Mike Taylor's up in the house, brother Sinsear, Mr. Mcneill, and Mr. Lynch. My last question to you guys: how do you guys enjoy the show, man? What do you guys think? Is this something worth doing more of? How you guys feel about your experience here tonight, brother Anthony?
Oh, I loved it. I love situations where you can learn something, and you can also have a positive impact on other brothers, and even give some feedback to the sisters so they can understand their men better.
Absolutely, Mike T.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely loved it, man. Like you said, anytime you can feed into the lives of younger guys, man, because a lot of us probably didn't have those opportunities or have people to feed into us. So anytime we have the opportunity to give back and can feed into others, man, I love it. So I'm all on board with it, man. Kudos to you.
It's pretty dope, man. You got a pretty dope platform. I really enjoyed, kicking it with y'all brothers, and I'm looking forward to co-starring with y'all on The Real Husbands of the Black Club.
Real husbands.
All right, McNeill.
I knew it was going to be good because of Evan. I knew it was going to have a strong panel because I know Evan operates in excellence. And I was just happy to be a part of it. It's so funny. Last week, I thought I had missed it, but I didn't miss it. So I expected it to be great tonight, and I wasn't let down.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much for being here, brother Sinsear.
Oh, man, it's always great, man, to have dialogue with brothers of y'all's caliber, man. And anytime we can have worthwhile dialogue, it's time well spent, brother. So good job on what you're doing, partner. Keep it up. You got my support.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much, guys. Again, thank you so much to the audience. Thanks for every like. Thanks for every share. Thanks for showing that you care, right? We talked about appreciation thing. Well, one of those appreciation things was hitting that share button, allowing other people to experience what you're experiencing here today. Another part of that appreciation is hitting that like button, right? Just liking it so it gets more traction in this thing called the algorithm. Another part of your appreciation was actually participating, sharing your thoughts and your words of appreciation for the Black men that are in our community, in our life. I want to say thanks so much for tuning in to tonight's episode. And I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope we use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.